Hi, I'm Canadian. We're not allowed to watch the news here, so I had to bring in an actual reporter so I could find out what's going on in the world. Hey, I'm Canadian. I don't actually have access to any kind of supplementations or vitamins, but I can easily get crack cocaine or methamphetamine, no problem.
Okay, so maybe let's just touch on those two. So the news. So actually, I just checked this out. You can't see any news channels on Instagram, right? You can't go to CNN, Fox, or anything, but you can see CBC.
You can go to CBC.
You can go to the CBC.
Yeah.
Like why?
They're not news, I guess.
Like why? Like how is that possible under their laws?
Is it CBC Sport? There's some sort of loophole. Yet, my friend, she couldn't share her dead grandfather's obituary because Facebook labeled it as news. But
Yes.
you can still sneak their little page in there.
Yeah, and anytime I try to share a news article in my stories, they block it.
Yep.
It's absurd. So anybody who is not Canadian that's hearing this, we cannot, like, our government has blocked the new. Well, so there's some weird argumentation there that Instagram and Google have to pay news organizations to promote Canadian content, but we can't see news in Canada.
No.
It's absurd. It's get a VPN. We should get a VPN sponsorship and push that, because that's just a great reason to have a VPN.
The VPN business in Canada is soaring.
I'm sure it is, actually. I'm gonna look that up. So second one here. So they're making crack and drugs very accessible.
I like tripped over my own words in this video. I said supplementations. I was so nervous. Yeah, no. So we can get supplements in Canada now, but we will have a very hard time doing it if the bill passes. I can't remember the bill number.
I'll speak to this really quickly. So what they've done is they've put all natural health products under what was known as Vanessa's Law. So Vanessa's Law was a law created in Canada that was to protect people from the dangers of pharmaceuticals. Vanessa was a teenager who dropped dead from a pharmaceutical she never should have been prescribed. It was already killing people. So when she died, her dad was already an active politician. He fought to get Vanessa's Law implemented in Canada to protect Canadians from the dangers of pharmaceuticals. I know all this because I grew up with Vanessa. She was a high school friend of mine.
Wow.
So what they did was they had this existing Vanessa's Law. They put all natural health products under Vanessa's Law as if they're as dangerous as all the pharmaceuticals. And now that's
pharmaceuticals.
Yes. And so this.
And then what did you say? Did you say force you to take pharmaceuticals?
No, they kept the pharmaceuticals.
Oh yeah, right. And force you to take them.
Yeah, so what they've done is they've empowered, this all empowers the pharmaceutical industry and crushes the natural health product industry. So what they've done is they've empowered the industry that killed Vanessa and used her name to do it. It's sick.
Everything is backwards in Canada, and just in leftist minds and policies, it's completely insane. When we spoke to Mocha Bezirgan, what did he say that people were charged with environmental terrorism? Simon, do you remember this?
They literally had the word climate in it, I think.
Right. But I can't remember what it was for.
Yeah. Oh, no. This was something different. Yes. They had done something totally unrelated to the environment, but they were still charged with that.
Yeah. But I can't remember exactly what it was for. But anyways, they used the law against it, because the environmental terrorism law was to stop people from sitting in the middle of the highway to protest climate change, right? But then they used it against, I think, the Coots 4.
That's what it was. It was so they used the laws that they wrote to stop environmental terrorists to actually stop right-wing people from fighting for freedom.
It's fucking insane. Anyways. Okay, let's keep going here.
Let's keep going.
Hey, I'm Canadian. In Justin Trudeau's communist regime, he formed an NDP socialist coalition so that even if you wanted to change the government, you can.
Sounds like democracy.
Hey, I'm Canadian. I actually have a really good high-paying job, but because my government has printed money into inflation, I'm going to have ice cube sandwiches for dinner. Hey, I'm Canadian. Don't even think about interviewing one of our high-ranking officials, because they'll actually throw you in prison.
So are you talking about Chrystia Freeland there?
Yeah.
And David Menzies,
the Menzoid.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. And the inflation, ice cream sandwiches, perfect. But cost of living here is insane.
It's insane.
They've printed what 40% of the 40 or 30% of the money supply in the last 3 years.
Yeah.
Well, and so we have this NDP Liberal coalition, um,
Right.
factoring into what is it, 2025 election? Is that what we're looking at right now?
Mm-hmm. But so the Liberals have 33% of the vote, and the NDP has one other 10. Who the heck is voting for Jagmeet Singh?
I don't know.
Who is voting for these people?
All the young people, they're coming out groomed socialists.
Yeah. Yeah, and see, they're angry at Trudeau, right? To see, like, a lot of the left-wing people are super angry at Trudeau for the Palestine thing, right? So right now, if you go and you look at the comments on any of Trudeau's posts, he has both the left and the right attacking him. The right for obvious reasons that we know, and then the left is attacking him for being pro-Israel. So he's being attacked on both sides. So I think there's a lot of people migrating idiotically from Trudeau to the NDP, thinking that somehow that's better when it's really the same thing.
Because conservatives need to work on their branding, and the left doesn't understand any single conservative policy. And they're like, well, conservatives are evil, so I'll just vote NDP, but they don't understand any of the policies. They've never read a history book. And this thing drives me crazier than anything. When people on the left call the right fascist, I'm like, look up that word. Look up. The right wants small government, more freedom, free speech. Fascism is totalitarian control, government linking arms with all of our institutions, top down control, the government getting bigger. I'm like, that's the left, you losers.
I know. Well, the left facilitated the Occupy Wall Street movement and is now pro every corporation, pro big pharma. I don't understand.
well, so they think that Nazi Germany was far right. People say this, that that the Nazis were far right. That
yes,
they think that, but they think it's far right because it's nationalism. When did nationalism become something on the right? Politically speaking, nationalism is anyway. The nationalism is a complicated history. Sorry, go ahead.
And you want to talk about Nazis? Who invited Nazis into the House of Commons and went on TV and said, how long will we tolerate these people? The right didn't do that.
But that's exactly it, is that National Socialism. The Nazis were the National Socialist Party, right? Nazis were left. Nazis were far left. So was Mussolini's fascism. And that's what I was talking about before. When you go to the right, you get zero government. You get anarchy, right?
Yeah.
So this they like to throw things in the far right camp, but it's like, what are you talking about, far right? Even if they call white supremacists, which is a huge problem in the States. Apparently, there's white supremacists everywhere. Meanwhile, the only sighting of them is like clearly FBI plants that are all dressed like they're wearing the same clothes as January 6th. Anyways.
But that's what's funny. People don't know that they don't know, and it's only when you ask a question that they short circuit. Like take Trump for example. Trump's not a great person by any means, but like as a president, actually did some pretty good things. So when a lot of Canadians have Trump derangement syndrome, and they'll talk about how much they hate him, and I'm like, well, why do you hate him? Well, he's racist. Okay, well, what did he do that was racist? And watch them spin on nothing. Well, I just don't like his policies. Okay, what are his policies?
They pivot right away. So
it's
so funny.
Then you watch them spin. They couldn't even identify a single policy, and I was like, well, these are all the good things that he did. And then you just see something like in the short circuit in the back of their brain. I'm like, yes, you have no idea.
Well, and this is what Trudeau's trying to play to. And it's interesting with the Nazi being National Socialism, because Trudeau really tries to use nationalism to an extent, right? This is why he always talking about Canadians don't want, like the other day, Canadians don't want to make Canada great again, because he thinks that little reference to Trump is so toxic. It's like a big win for him when it's like a total self-own. But
he's such a freaking moron,
it's
man.
painful.
Oh my God.
But he does try to use national identity a lot. He's always going on about like, this is what Canadians want, like all the time,
Yet he wants a post-nationalist state.
Yeah.
He doesn't know what he honestly, man, he doesn't know what's going on in his own head. He's lost.
And no one on the left even knows what post-nationalism means.
No. They have no idea. This is the thing. It's like, I've looked at what the Marxists in my neighborhood believe, right? So I went and met the Marxists in my neighborhood. And I went and found their Substack, and they believe they're taking down the capitalists when they're empowering a class of super capitalists at the top of the world. They're empowering Klaus Schwab, and they're creating a super bourgeois class, and they think they're tearing it down.
They're just in the streets protesting, just like, fuck us.
That would be a great Babylon B skit where it's like
true.
when they realize it's like, wait, fuck ourselves. Oh my God.
Yeah. Fuck us.
They're
Fuck
literally
us.
fighting against their own best interest. You're right.
It is. They don't get it. But this, it's painful to see. It's painful to see.
I mean, you just gotta laugh at it, I guess.
What are you gonna do?
All right, you got a couple more in here, right? Let's check this out.
Hi, I'm Canadian.
Oh, no, that was the
We're
end
not
of
allowed.
That was it.
Okay.
That was it. But
Great,
look at how much we had
video.
to unpack with just that one meme.
I know, you killed it.
I didn't.
But